Hello everybody and welcome to Just Delphine Knits, my knitting corner on YouTube. Today is a special episode, it's all about socks. I had many requests for a special episode about socks, both on my YouTube channel, I had the question in a comment, and on Instagram people contacted me for that. So that's what I'm doing today. I have to add, I'm not the most experienced sock knitter, but I love knitting socks. I started knitting socks in 2019, finished my first pair at the beginning of 2020, and then I didn't like that one, so I restarted the end of 2021, but this year I'm completely sold. Before starting the 2022 socks, I will show you the socks I've made before 2022. This is my very first pair of socks. I will put them on the sock blocker just a moment, which will make it more clear. This is a sock made with a knit-along of Veritas. It has a peasant heel. It's made in Regia from Sagenmeyer, but I didn't like the heel. It's so fiddly to have to knit a heel in between those stitches. I might like it now, I don't know, because I have more experience with socks. I didn't retry this type of heel, but I didn't like it. As you can see, I have a hole here. It was my very first pair of socks, but I have worn them, as you can see as well, because the heel starts to fold. So this was my first experience with knitting socks, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it, so I stopped. And then, the end of 2021, I restarted. I wanted to knit socks for my husband's Christmas presents, and I followed a knit-along of Woolplane, which has a heel flap and gusset. I will put them on the sock blockers as well. I used line yarn socks, which has a fade in blue. It's a type of yarn. Just 1 second, I struggle putting them on the sock blockers. Just a second. So it has a fade in blue. He wears them, but they stretch a lot. I read a book, it's called The Knitter's Book of Socks, and it told me that it could be because of the superwash treatment. Some superwash treatments result in stretching of the wool. So I think that's the case. But yeah, I'm happy with what I made so far. So he still wears them, although I don't think it's his favorite pair of socks because they are a little bit loose on his feet, but he does wear them. And then we're in 2022 and I decided to make one pair of socks at least per month. 1 month for myself and the other month for my husband. So I will just give a brief overview of those socks. It all started in January, of course, with socks for myself. These are knit in Katja Tokyo yarn. I really love these socks. I love knitting them. I love wearing them. I have worn them a lot in my walking boots and they're still fine. You see, they almost didn't fold. I love them, but they're slightly too warm to wear now. This is a pattern from Punto 34 from, I think it's Line Yarns, I think, yeah. It's from Happily Knitting, so Mr. Knitbear and then Dennis, and I really love the pattern. It has a boomerang heel, which I like to knit because I know it by heart, but it's not my favorite heel to wear. But I will talk more about that at the end of the episode. So this is my first pair of 2022, and it was the beginning of an addiction because I really like to knit them. Then, of course, after January, we have February, and it was time to knit something for my husband again. I did have some line yarn socks, and I still have other colors as well. And I made the first toe-up pair from the book Sokkenbrein. I don't like the book, by the way, but I have it and I used it for toe-up. And it has a boomerang heel again. but they are long because I used the complete skein of yarn, and they are as well really stretchy, so they are a little bit loose on his feet, but he still wears them, although again it's not his favorite pair, which is a pity, but you learn from doing. So that's the February. In March I made again something for myself, which is this pair of socks. You see, I've worn them, they start to felt. This is Lang Yarns, again, Lang Yarn socks. I have it, it's made with a pattern and tutorial from the online Brei Campus, so the online knitting courses I'm following from Mirjam Molenbeek. And that made a really big difference because these are the first pair I knit on Magic Loop and I like it. It's faster. And her pattern takes into account that you try them on and see where you have to start the toe with real clear instructions, so they fit better, and even though they stretch a bit while wearing, they are still fine. So I really like to wear them. The yarn isn't really warm, well, it's warm, but it's still fine to wear on a colder spring day. It's not only winter socks, so that's great actually. So those are my socks for March. Heel flap en gusset. Then April, husband again. I did a test knit for Sarah Kay Knits, and those are the meditation socks. Oh, the sun is a little bit... I will just turn the iPad. So meditation socks in Mondim yarn. So this is non-superwash, non-nylon yarn. So that's the only pair I wash by hand actually. He wore them twice already, which is a lot. He has a lot of socks. Not a lot of hand-knitted socks, but he has a lot of socks. So that's why it takes a while before he wears something again. And he says these are his favorite pairs so far. So yeah, that's great, I think. And then May, me again, toe up again, and these are cotton. These have cotton. It's Cotton Tutti Frutti from Sagenmeier, and the motif is a watermelon motif. Self-striping, really nice with a boomerang heel again. I like cotton to wear, but it's not that. Well, it stretches a little bit while wearing, so it sags a bit at my heel, and the cuff is 3 by 1 rib, and it doesn't stretch that much, so it's not easy to take it over my heel, but it's fine. So that's that. And then in June, I first wanted to make a cotton pair for my husband as well, but I didn't manage to make a lot of progress. It wasn't the ideal pattern for making progress with all the plans I had this month, so I decided to, just a moment, it fell on the ground. Yep. To finish this pair, this is Regia Perfect from Sagenmeier. It was supposed to be for my dad, but I followed the book Sokkenbrein, and I followed it, knit until that amount of centimeters before starting the toe, etc. And then I looked at it and I thought, it's so big. My dad has 41.5, so I knitted a 41. And then my husband has a 44, and I let him try it on, and it's perfect for him. So yeah. I decided to keep this one for my husband, and then I will cast on next week another pair for my dad with another pattern. So this is what I done so far on the second sock, so it will be doable to finish this by Thursday evening. So after that, I just told my dad, you know what, Dad, I want to knit you a pair of socks. I need your foot measurements because it doesn't work to work by your size. And then he gave me his foot measurements, and then it became clear because the pattern in the book, the amount of centimeters I had to knit was exactly the size of his foot. There was no negative ease. And if there is something that I want to have for a sock and my husband wants, and I think my dad wants as well, is negative ease on a sock, because a sock needs to hug your foot. So that's why, of course, this one fits my husband with the bigger feet and it doesn't fit my dad with that feet. So I will make another one based on the tutorial of Miriam Molenbeek, which has a better tutorial on when to start the toe. But these are the June socks for my husband's Perfect from H&M. And that's one pair of socks per month so far, because it's only June. I will just pop them there. But I do have some other finished pairs of socks in between. The first one, just taking something here, is in my box of presents. It's for a male. It's Katya Tokyo yarn, and it's a rounded toe. Normally I do a band toe, and it's a boomerang heel as well. So yeah, I hope the recipients will be happy. It's for later this year, so they will be back into my gift box. And then I participated in a test knit for Ginger and Thyme. Those are the Marguerite socks. It's a Dutch pattern. The sun is not really nice. I'll just do it like this to show you the color. Yeah, it blows out, but it's light green with speckles in all types of green. I like how it knits up. I like the colors. But they do feel really nylon-y, or how do you call it? I do think the nylon content is too high on these. If I look on her website, it says it has 30% nylon. She does have other bases as well, so you have to take care. On the label it says 25, but I do feel it's a 30. They are wearable, so oh my god, do you hear it? I'm hungry. They are wearable. I like to wear them, but you kind of feel that they don't absorb the sweat that good compared to others. However, this is my first pair of hand knitted socks I've worn, so it's possible that I have that my expectations are too high for hand dyed. Did I say hand knitted? I meant hand dyed yarn. So these are my first hand-dyed yarn socks. So I guess maybe my expectations aren't right. I don't know. So that's that. Okay, sorry if the sun is disturbing you, but well, it was cloudy in the morning. It's sunny now. The next pair of socks I finished in between are these shorties. These are the Basic B from Summerlee. And they're made, as you can see, in the leftover of my January yarn. It was perfect. I only had like 2 meters of yarn left. And I combined it with Lang Yarn's Jawol. I have held the Lang Yarn double. And it makes a really nice cushion on my heel. Perfect for my walking shoes. So I have shorter walking shoes for the summer. These are perfect for that. I like the pattern as well. Really nice socks. Then I have another finished pair, just a moment. Those are meditation socks again, but for myself. So I've made them shorter. This is hand-dyed yarn from Julia in Antwerp. I haven't worn them because I want to make a second pair of that skein, and these are white, and I want a nice Instagram picture of both pairs of socks together, so I will not wear them until my second pair is finished. Just a moment, I'll take them. This is my second pair. It's the Basic V of Summerlee, and I'm knitting them on Adikrasi Trio. So that's what I waited, and I should have enough to make 2 pairs of one skein, which is perfect because the skein wasn't really cheap, so it's really nice that I will have 2 pairs of socks out of it. So looking forward to finish those and wear them. Another whip is the pair that I was planning to have for June. It's a broken rope from Summerlee. Yeah, it's a long sock and I'm just at the foot. Why is it taking me so long? Well, you have to think because you have to switch this broken rib. So you just, if I'm not thinking and I'm, yeah, distracted, then I'm just knitting rib instead. So that's why I need to think about it. And they're really sharp, so these are my Haya DPNs. And last weekend we had a family weekend with 2 3-year-olds, so I thought it wouldn't be a good idea to have those sharp needles with me. So that's why I put them on pause and worked on my ridges instead. But I will finish them, of course. These are for my husband. Then for my husband as well, in this bag I've made myself, is Marguerite socks from Ginger and Thyme. This is the yarn Socks Yeah from Kubnit. I don't know if you can see the yarn really good, but yeah. I will pop a picture of the yarn. It's the first time ever I'm doing 2 at a time. I really slow at it. I don't know why people say this is easier or faster, but I'm really slow at it. But I really want to try it and finish it like that. So this is one from summer sock camp. So I want to finish this by the end of the summer. So that's that. And then I have another whip. Just a second. So these are the Spring Bloom socks from Knit CV. This is one sock I finished for the test knit and then I broke my finger, so I couldn't do the lace, it was too fiddly. And recently I restarted. And I have the lace panel finished, but I made a mistake and I switched. Like, you have different lace panels, lace charts, depending on the size, and for this one I did another one than this one, so this is higher than this. And I just put it in a naughty corner, and now I decided what to do. So I will finish this one with a longer lace as well and make a longer sock, because this is quite a short sock. I will make a long sock out of this one, and then I will make 2 pairs. Because I have plenty of this yarn since it was gifted to me by my aunt. It's Ursula, it's a really old yarn that was gifted to her from a lady that had to go to a nursery home. So yeah, I will just make 2 pairs, a short pair and a long pair. So it will take me. So that's what I have concerning whips. So what am I planning to do? I have a lot of plans that I won't show you yet, but of course I'm participating in a summer sock camp of the Crazy Sock Lady. I will show you the progress at the end of the year. I'm planning to do another overview of this year. Of course I won't go into detail about the things I've shown you, but I can talk about what I've made for summer sock camp. I can also talk about how the socks are wearing. Do I have holes in it? Do I like them? Because some socks haven't got a lot of wear yet, so I will talk about that later this year. But I also have this. Just a second, because one of my DPNs fell down. So this is Summer of Socks 2022 of Walnut Verve. So I got this project bag and a lot of yarn with it. It also has an online learning community with patterns, so that's fine. This is the first one. It's greens and blues. This will be the first one I'm using. I still have to decide on the pattern though. Then I have this one. This will be for my husband. He chose this. I still have to decide on the pattern as well. This is one of those. There will be no pattern for this one and not for the first 2 as well, but because it's dyed in a special way, she will give more explanation on how to choose a pattern, so I'm waiting to use that one. Then we have the solids. You are supposed to do it like this and then use the pink one for something else, but I'm just in love with this combination, so I'm waiting to see where I need this, the yellow color, the ochre color for. If it's not worth using it, I will just do it like that, or I will buy, if it's worth using it for the other thing, I will buy a similar color to have this together. And then we have this colorway, it's Festival. And there is some silk mohair as well. So I think it's really worth the money because you also get the patterns from last year. Her patterns from last year, not the patterns from other designers. So I think it's really worth the money. It's great value. Looking forward to it, but I really like surprises, so it's nice that I have this as a surprise package, and can now see like what it will look like without having to choose it. So why I prefer this instead of a advent is because you get full skeins. It was around 150 euros with shipping included, and which is also the price for an advent, but you have like full skeins, so I really like it. I have a package from Het Wol-Beest coming, I think next week or the week after, with a 3 skein set as well. So that's really more my cup of tea compared to an advent. Last week I asked on Instagram if you had any questions concerning knitting socks that I should answer in this episode, so I will go into that. I have my notes here. And the first one is about types of heels. Now, I only started recently, so I didn't try every heel that's on the market, of course, but I tried some. First of all, my very first pair of socks was a peasant heel. I didn't like it because it's fiddly, but I didn't retry it. So why I don't like it is because I feel like you don't have the room to maneuver and knit the heel, whereas for the others you have. Then you have the boomerang heel, so with short rows. That's not the heel I prefer wearing, but I prefer knitting because I know it by heart. Whereas the heel flap and gusset is the one I prefer because it's like a cushion, you have the slip stitches, but for the heel turn I always need a pattern to know. So yeah, but I like the longer I'm using the heel flap and gusset, the more I like it. So especially when you're ready with the heel, you're already further away on the foot, so the foot like flies off your needles. And then you have this one, I don't know how it's called, I really don't, but that's like the decreases are in the middle. And I didn't wear them because I haven't had a full pair yet, but I feel like when I'm trying them on, that this one really hugs my heel. So I think this might become my favorite in the future, but I'm not sure yet. So that's another one. Then you also have an afterthought heel, and then you have to cut into your sock, and like it's not what I want to do. I don't want to cut my socks. They're too precious for me, so not trying that one anytime soon. Another question was about beginner-friendly patterns, and since this is my English podcast, 2 of the things I mentioned aren't an option because they're Dutch, but I would really recommend Summer Lee, and I think Crazy Sock Lady should be fine as well. Summer Lee, I have a set of socks with shorties, and I have a set of socks with longer socks as well. And the thing is, her sets are really affordable, and I think they're really easy to knit, especially if you're English and you use inches. It's even more easy, because for me I always have to think, she doesn't use centimeters at all. So I know inches, but it's not natural. I always calculate in my head to centimeters. So yeah. That's the only disadvantage about Summer Lee, but I really like her patterns. And then about the types of yarn and my favorites. So first of all, of course, you have superwash versus non-superwash. The nylon content differs. And I'm trying to use as many types of yarn as possible and see what I prefer. For the moment, I really love knitting Mondim, so I have another Mondim. This is for myself. So after that, I will also be able to say if I like to wear Mondim or not. My husband likes it, so Mondim is non-superwash, non-nylon. So I'm really curious to see how it will hold up after a lot of wear. But for the moment, it's holding up really great. So that's nice. So that's one of my favorites. And then my other favorite is Tokyo from Katya. That's something that is not produced anymore, but I was able to buy some from a stock sale in January, and then in another shop in Mechelen I found some more. So this is just one of them I have, and I will of course make socks out of that. So for the moment, that's my favorite. Those are my two favorite types of sock yarn. So that's actually everything I wanted to say. If you have any more questions, please drop them below. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like it. And if you have any more recommendations for other special episodes you want me to make, please please give me please send me a message about that, and we'll see. I will try to film a normal episode next week or the week after, so you will see other non-sock related stuff there. See you!